Hey, my name is Ryan McEwen, and you're watching the Permanent Rain Press.
Hi everyone, it's Chloe with the Permanent Rain Press. Today I am so happy to be joined by Ryan McEwen. How's it going?
Good. How you doing, Chloe?
I'm doing well, thanks for asking, and I'm so excited to chat with you about your work in Descendants, Wicked Wonderland. But
Yeah,
before we get into the new movie, what can you share about your background in the arts and what sparked that passion in you to pursue this field as a career?
for sure. Yeah, so I grew up kind of always surrounded by the arts. Ever since a kid, my mom was really into getting us to like play music and dance. But in where I'm from, Edmonton, Alberta, you kind of don't pursue the arts, especially as a guy. So I remember once I hit a certain age, I was enrolled in hockey and I kind of followed that path. But in my mom's route to pick me up from hockey, and then she had to pick my sister up from dance class as well. So I had to go and wait with my mom until she finished class. So sometimes I would go into the studio and just watch. And over time, I would watch and then start learning the dances that they were teaching. So the teacher of my sister's class was like, "You need to enroll him in dance." And then my mom was like, "Oh, like I don't know, like if he wants that." And then I was like, "Please, I really want to do it." But my dad didn't want me to do it. He wanted me to keep playing hockey. So secretly, my mom enrolled me in the dance class, but kept telling my dad I was going to hockey practice. So for like the first year of me dancing, I was secretly going to dance, and my dad thought I was going to hockey practice. And it wasn't until the end of the year my dad was like, "I want to go watch one of his games," and she took him to my dance recital, and the rest is history. But now he's super supportive. But yeah, that's kind of how I got into it, was through my sister learning dance, and it just kind of snowballed from there.
The behind the back story. I mean,
Yeah.
were you like leaving with your skates and coming back with your skates to
Oh
throw
yeah,
them
I'm
off
pretty
your?
sure I packed things into a bag. I packed my skates, everything, came back sweaty. He's like, "How was practice?" I was like, "Oh, so good." So
And
good.
he never saw or questioned it until
Well,
the.
he was working a lot and he was busy. And I think it wasn't that long of a time. I think it might have been a couple months, but he was shocked. He's definitely shocked. But now he's my number one fan. So everything
Yeah,
happens for a
I'm sure
reason.
seeing you like in your element really kind of like changed his mind. It's like, okay, this is where you're kind of meant to be situation.
Exactly. Yeah. It wasn't hockey for me. It was dance.
You are still a very dedicated hockey fan, though.
Oh, for
So
sure.
growing up
100%.
in, Edmonton, crazy hockey atmosphere, very
Yeah.
passionate fans in oil country. What was
Yep.
that like for you?
I always say hockey is the religion of Edmonton. Oilers are the religion. Every time I take my friends back home, I'm like, just especially during playoffs, I'm like, just you wait. Like, you're not gonna be ready for the amount of like fan culture and hockey culture in Edmonton. And it's honestly one of my favorite things about Edmonton. It's something that really like binds the community together, and it's just so much fun. So I always take people home for Oilers games because it's just there's nothing quite like it, especially in Vancouver or any other places I've traveled. There's no city that loves hockey like Edmonton, so I love it. And I've been an Oilers fan till I die. People always ask, "Oh, you're gonna be a Canucks fan now that you live in Vancouver?" And I was like, I think my dad would disown me if I ever wore a Canucks jersey. So no, Oilers forever.
I feel like it also just introduces you to, there's one thing about being in pop culture and like fandom and fan culture, but hockey kind
Oh,
of
for sure.
culture is like another thing in itself and kind of gets you like introduced to
Yeah,
being
no,
just
for
so
sure.
passionate about something.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's definitely passionate would be one word I'd use to describe Edmonton for the Oilers.
You mentioned music, so you do play the piano, guitar, and sing. So tell me about how it has evolved for you over the years.
Yeah, so I grew up playing Royal Conservatory piano. My parents put us in it. And back then, it wasn't my favorite thing to do. I remember I'd get home from school and my mom would be like, "You have to practice piano for at least an hour." And she'd have to force me there. I have to sit at the bench. I was like, all I want to do is go play games with my friends, but I have to play piano. But now it's paid its dividends. I'm so happy that I think I made it up to grade 5 of conservatory. And for anyone who's done it, it's not fun music. It's like my teacher's name was Larissa Kaplansky, and she was a very strict Russian lady. But I'm so happy I learned that now because it made the music world so much easier to grasp, and it even helped with dancing, like being able to count music and being able to like understand different music phrasing and everything really came in handy with dance. And now with singing, it I go to my music teacher Sylvia Zardik, and she says it's so nice to teach someone who comes from music, because there's like little things you can just say, okay, change the key up here, or change the octave, and it's just kind of ingrained in me through piano. And that's why I was able to learn guitar, like just through like I taught myself guitar, but it's because everything in music kind of is based off piano, like it's that like the original instrument. So that really helps. And yeah, I just love music now. I would say music is kind of like my therapy. It's because I have dance and acting as my work, and then music is like my artistic outlet that's not my career, which is nice.
It's nice to have like a hobby, and I like that piano taught you like the fundamentals that you
Mhm.
needed now. You've posted some kind of short covers on social media. I really like the Lord Huron's The Night We Met,
Oh
which
yeah.
you did a small cover of. Do you think that you'll be releasing more in the future? Or are you kind of just keeping those personal, close for now?
No, honestly, that's a good question. I've been thinking about that a lot. I actually recently started writing my own music. First, it was just something for myself, just to kind of work through things, but I'm really enjoying it. I really didn't realize how much I like it. So that might be something coming in the future. Just gonna keep working on it and then see how I feel. But I'll definitely be posting more covers because those are fun.
Are you kind of like singer-songwriter genre? Where do you think
For
you're at?
sure. Yeah. I put myself between like Conan Gray and who else? Let's just say Conan Gray. I can't think
Number
of anyone
one
else right now.
inspiration.
Number one info is Conan. Yeah, definitely just acoustic stuff so far.
I was gonna say if you release a song or music in the future, it's like Xavier can do the rap on
We
a
talked
rap
about it.
verse.
We literally talked about this was a while ago. We talked about collaborating on a song. So that might happen one day.
Fingers
Because
crossed, and we'll
yeah,
stay tuned.
Savior just dropped his album, I think. So maybe I'll have a feature on it for the next one.
On that dance background, you've competed professionally, you've danced for years now. How would you say physical movement has benefited your life, and what has dance given you?
Oh, dance has given me like everything. My entire adult life has kind of been surrounded with dance. Even growing up, it's super nice to have dance because you can find like-minded people who, in school you're friends with your school friends just because you go to the same school, but through dance you all have this one thing in common, and this giant community of people who are all like-minded and all just are on the same note. So I'm super lucky to have that. I really owe dance so much. It's giving me my friends. It's got me to move to Vancouver. Like it changed my whole life. And I don't know what I'd be without dance. I always think about that. I'm like, yes, I'm really passionate about acting, but dance is my first love. And it kind of got me to where I am. So I'll forever be grateful for dance and my journey through dance. In terms of physicality, there's a lot of crossover between acting and dance. And my acting coach always says she loves to work with dancers because they're so good in their bodies. Like acting isn't just about your face and your performance, it's all about living through a character through your whole body. So I find we kind of have a leg up there because we just already know how to coordinate with our whole body, which is really nice. It also has helped me being a super lanky man. I feel like I'd be a lot less coordinated if I didn't have dance. So it definitely has benefited me not being awkward and lanky.
Yeah, the whole movement aspect, I like that you mentioned that because there's so much of a character said through, what we don't always hear, but what we see and the mannerisms.
Mhm.
You are part of Brotherhood
Yeah.
dance crew. What has competing and creating with this group meant to you?
Oh my God. It's everything. I was just talking to my mom about it actually, because Brotherhood was kind of the crew everyone looked up to. And anywhere in Canada, if you were a young boy dancer, like you would see Brotherhood, you're like, wow, those guys are like what I want to be someday. And it almost seemed like an impossible dream because like they had almost retired. Like when I moved here, Brotherhood had like said their piece. They were kind of done competing. So when I found out Brotherhood was coming back, and I would get to be a part of it, I was just over the moon. Like it didn't seem real. Me and my best friend Randall were like, if you would have told us 5 years ago that we are going to be on Brotherhood and competing on the biggest stage, like I wouldn't believe you. So it's meant so much to let alone be a part of it, but also create for the group has been insane. And it's such a good group of guys, and Scott and Adrian are such good leaders that it's just been such a positive experience and a dream come true for sure.
You mentioned these big stages, like you've competed internationally, also obviously at home in Vancouver in front of a hometown crowd. So what's it been like though, getting to travel and perform for such passionate audiences?
It's incredible. We knew we had a community and a fan base in Vancouver. Like we had our friends, we all teach here, we all have students here. So we were kind of expecting to see that reaction in Vancouver, but it's been so like heartening and exciting to see how our impact has like reached across the world, especially in Australia, like literally half a world away. We didn't expect anyone to know who we were or like know our names, know Brotherhood. And when we got there, people were like waiting to take our photos, and they like knew our names, and they were just talking so much about how inspired they were by what we do on Brotherhood. So that was just so exciting to hear, and just kind of surreal to see that our influence can reach that far. And it's been great. It's been such a positive, fun experience. And yeah, I'm just excited to keep doing it. I'm excited for Korea. And it's been nice just to meet all the dancers in the league from around the world. We kind of have become like a community, a little network of IDL dancers. So it's nice to keep those relationships with everyone and just kind of be inspired by everyone's journey.
And the league wouldn't be what it is without so many talented dance crews and dancers. I mean, when you're going to these new places like Australia, you mentioned South Korea and Seoul coming up, do you have any time to sightsee, or is it very much like competition, competition, competition?
It's definitely competition till the event. So we usually get in 2 days before, 2 or 3 days before, and those days before are just kind of finishing the set, because the turnaround between these events is sometimes 2 weeks, sometimes 2.5. So we have to create two sets in those 2 weeks. And when we get to the event, we're usually finishing right before. For example, in Vancouver event, we finished our piece the night before. We changed something the night before. And same with Australia. We had this one transition that we had never touched. And the night before, we're like, well, we should probably make something. So we had to make something the night before in Australia. We were all jet lagged and we're like, God, we got to create something here. But so the beginning is definitely all dance. Lucky enough, after the competition, we're awarded like a few days to go sightsee. So in Australia, most of the boys stayed and we kind of went around. I saw a few friends that had moved to Australia. Got to go hold a kangaroo and pet a koala. It was awesome. And we're doing the same thing for Korea. I think a bunch of us are going to Japan after. So that'd be fun. I've never been. But yeah, it's been a nice little combination of dance, but also travel experience, which is really good, because that's one of the main reasons we were super excited. Not main, but one of the reasons we were excited was to travel around the world and meet people and sightsee.
There's nothing like being able to combine work and play all in
100%.
one.
Yeah.
Another talent of yours is teaching, which you do at Studio North as a hip hop instructor. How special has it been to teach and mentor and share your passion for dance in an intentional way?
Oh, it's honestly been everything. All the corny things they say about teaching being fulfilling is 100% true. You don't really know until you do it. I have gained so much from dance, as I said. Like it's the reason I'm here, the reason I have my friends. I have this like community. So it's so amazing to get to pass that on to people and get to invite people into that community and that kind of life. So I also teach like everything across the board. I teach like people who are just here to have fun. It's their first time dancing and they're just here with their friends. And I like to introduce what hip hop is to them. But then I also have advanced competitive teens that are like trying to make this a career. So I get the best of both worlds, and I just get to share dance to all these different kinds of people. And it's really nice to almost give back to this community that has done so much for me. And yeah, I really love it, and it's one of my biggest passions. I remember during filming when things got really crazy, director was like, "You sure you guys want to keep teaching?" And I was like, "Yeah, I don't want to stop teaching. I love it. It's so much fun, and I feel like it's one of the things I was meant to do."
I read that Kenny Ortega inspired you to pursue acting after you worked as a dancer on Julie and the Phantoms. So tell me about his influence on you.
Oh, Kenny. Working with Kenny is one of the most magical experiences ever. It was my first job when I moved to Vancouver. It was actually one of the reasons I moved to Vancouver was for doing the Phantoms. I was right out of high school, and I remember at the audition, Kenny was like, "You need to do this," and I was like, "Okay, sure, Mr. Ortega." And then it might have been our last day of filming. I was just walking to the bathroom, and Kenny was walking by. He was like, "Ryan, come here," and he like put his hand around my shoulder, started walking. He's like, "So, have you ever thought about acting?" And I was like, "I don't know. I just started dancing in the industry. I haven't thought about this." And he kind of explained to me how like you think it would be a great fit for me, and he really pushed me to do it and then kind of dip my toe in. And ever since then, I just completely fallen in love. It's nice to find a new passion like later because dance has been the passion for so long, and I've been dancing forever, so it's kind of hard to find new things in that passion. So acting was a completely brand new thing to me, so it was really nice to just jump into there and just go crazy and have so much fun in that different artistic endeavor. But yeah, I owe it to Kenny. Working with Kenny is one of the most, I said it, magical experiences. You don't really know until you're on set. Like he just sees things and has this like Disney vision. Like I remember one time we were doing this, we had worked on this number for like months, I swear. And we were just doing this one part of Jada walking down the hallway rapping. And like the choreo was amazing. And then Kenny was like, "Why don't you just have all the locker doors open and slowly close them in front of the camera?" And we're all like, "Yeah, that's genius. How did no one think of that?" And he just like nonchalantly did it. It's just, he has this mind that was just so perfect for capturing dance on camera. And yeah, so working with him is magic. And I definitely owe a lot to him.
To have that encouragement from obviously a legend and a Disney legend,
Oh, yeah.
that is so cool. And I know that you went viral on TikTok when that show was released. Like people were just obsessed with you and your face, and I think they gave you like a character name.
Oh,
So what
yeah.
memories do you
Ethan.
have from that time?
That was a crazy time. I think it was peak COVID. So I think we were in lockdown. And I remember the show was delayed to come out. And it was like the first thing I'd done. So I was super really excited to see it because I've never danced on camera before. And it came out and the show was huge. It was so good. It was a hit. And then there was kind of like this lull where I was like, "Hey, the show's out. This is awesome." And then there was one TikTok that posted and it was like, "Somebody find this extra." And I remember at first being offended. I was like, "I'm not extra, I'm a dancer." But then it sparked this like whole TikTok notoriety. But it was crazy. Like I also was never really on TikTok. I still am not so on TikTok, but I remember people were like, "Have you seen what's happening on TikTok?" I was like, "No, I don't really open that app." Why? And then I remember opened it and I had gone from like maybe like 10 followers to like 50,000. I was like, "Why? What's going on? Did people think this is someone else?" And then I saw this like, find Ethan" things. So then I made a stupid video. I was like, "Hey, I'm Ethan." But it's a crazy time. I remember opening that app on the way to the pumpkin patch with a couple of my friends. And we were like, "Should we like film a TikTok at the pumpkin patch?" It's like, it was so crazy, but that was such a fun time. And that show was just amazing. And it was so nice working with Kenny. So anything to like bring memories back to that time is so nice. And it's funny because some people who now are seeing me in Descendants are saying, "Oh my God, that's Ethan from doing the Phantoms." I'm like, "Yeah, full circle, guys." He's back.
I like that the first thing you're thinking about is like, okay, how can I maybe feed the fans?
Yeah.
Maybe like do something at the pumpkin patch and film content. But
Yeah.
yeah, that show was really good. I was really disappointed that it didn't get a second season, but
Oh yeah.
I think that yeah, it still has its impact, on
Mhm.
Netflix today, forever wanting to bring it back for
Yeah,
more
I still
seasons.
see every comment section. It's like, "Okay, but bring back Julie and the Phantom season 2." I'm with them. I'm liking those comments.
You're like, I'll come back. I'll come
I'll come
back as
back.
Ethan.
We'll come back. Oh my goodness. Yeah, what a fun time.
We will get into your current project now, which is, of course, Descendants, Wicked Wonderland. And I will note to all those watching that we are discussing spoilers, so please make sure you finish the movie before continuing this interview. What can you share about your audition process?
The audition process was kind of crazy. So I had heard there was going to be another Descendants, and obviously I wanted to be a part. So I was talking to my agent, and I was like, "Hey, like if there's anything coming across for Descendants, like let me know. Like I want to be a part." And we had like a phone call. And she's like, "Unfortunately, like there's nothing in your typecast. Like there's zero for what you feel." And I was like, "Oh no! Like I'm so bummed. Like I really want to just audition for this movie." And then the dance audition came, and I was like, "Okay, well if I can't act in it, I still want to be a part of it." So I did the dance audition, and then I booked it as a dancer, and I was like, "Okay, this is gonna be awesome." And then a week before we started, there was this kind of cagey audition that came in. It said Descendants, and it said Smee twins, and it said may reoccur throughout the film. And I was like, okay, well, I'll do this. And the audition was pretty much like all improv. It was all improv and just so fun and silly. So I remember filming it and I was like, let's just do some ridiculous stuff. And then it was a callback, and it was one of the most strange but fun and exciting callbacks ever because there was just a few of us, and you go into the room, you're getting paired up with different people, and they're just Candace Elzinga, the casting director, was like throwing pool noodles at us. She was like blowing bubbles. Like it was so Smee in the best way. So yeah, that was a crazy process. And then me and Dayton found out on the Saturday that we booked it, and we started on the Monday. So it was a crazy, crazy turnaround because everyone else had been booked since like December. And then we found out 2 days before. And I was like, should I dance in it or should I act? I don't know. But I'm happy. I'm very happy I made the decision to play the role of Squirmy.
You were thinking like, I could dance, but I mean, a bit more screen time, a character
Yeah.
name. You can't turn that down.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of morphed because I think production didn't really know what they wanted from the Smee twins. Because I know they were a role that had been, inserted and then taken out and then inserted. So I was really like I didn't know how much I would be in it. I was like, oh, I might be in it more as a dancer. So that was like my initial confliction, but so happy I made the right decision.
I mean, I'm thinking you and Dayton made a good impression that they had to include more of your characters in. I would
Yeah, let's say
take that
that.
away.
Yeah, yeah, that'll be the story.
So obviously you were familiar with the Descendants franchise and Kenny. What can you say about, your knowledge, what you really enjoyed about those initial movies and its legacy today?
Oh yeah, I mean the Descendants is huge. Like I fully remember like the countdown to Descendants premiering on Disney Channel, and I remember being like, oh my god, like Cameron Boyce is in it from Jesse, Dove Cameron from Liv and Maddie's in it. Like this is gonna be huge, and it's Kenny from High School Musical. Like it's, I remember being so excited, and then China and McClain joined. Like I was like, this is a crazy, crazy cast. And the thing that always inspires me about Descendants and Kenny's work in general is he has this innate ability to capture dance and music on camera like no one else. And I think it's become because he comes from a choreography background and he's done crazy things like Newsies, and he does these giant grandeur dance productions that just like read so well on camera. And as a dancer, it obviously inspired me. So that's kind of my favorite thing about Descendants is the music and the dancing. It's like nothing else. And yeah, that's what got me into Descendants in the first place. So the fact that I get to be a part of this world is insane to me and so, so exciting.
Who would you say is your favorite, like OG character of the
Definitely,
franchise?
definitely Uma. I was an Uma stan. I was just a China and McLean stan, and just that I think Uma's like "What's My Name" is my favorite song. It's just so good, and the choreography is so good. Yeah, that I would definitely say Uma.
Hopefully, I don't know if she'll be at the premiere. I know, like, well, the cool thing is she was in The Rise of Rage. She made an
Mhm.
appearance. I know she wasn't in this new one, but she is a reference, so still exists in this
Oh yeah.
world.
Yeah, she still exists. She's the principal. She's our principal of Auradon High. Uma.
Were you trying to like campaign for a cameo? You were like, "Where's the principal?" But unfortunately, you didn't spend too much time at school in the actual
Yeah.
movie.
I should have caused more of a ruckus. Maybe I could have gone to detention with Uma.
You and Dayton obviously knew each other from before dancing with Brotherhood. You share the same agent. How much communication did you have during your audition process?
So I remember the night before the callback, me and Dayton were, I think we had rehearsal or something, and there was like a cagey like, "What are you doing tomorrow?" And I was like, I have a callback. What are you doing tomorrow?" It was like one of those, like we both wanted to ask the other person if they got it, but we didn't want to like say it. So we kind of found out we both were doing this callback, and like I said before, it was a bunch. I think it was like six different guys that were there, and they were kind of pairing us up. And of course, me and Dayton were like, we need to like make an impression here. Like we need to put us over the edge. And so we were in the waiting room, like making a handshake and like thinking of all these things we could do in the room. So we didn't have a lot of time to like prep together. It was more so just in the waiting room. But luckily, we already had that kind of innate like trust and relationship. I remember our director Kimmy Gatewood talks about the moment we booked it was when I jumped into Dayton's arms. There's this moment like we were practicing going down the rabbit hole, and I'm a fair bit taller than Dayton. I think I'm probably like 5 inches taller than him and probably a fair bit heavier. And I didn't even ask him. I just jumped into his arms and he caught me. And Kimmy always says, like, that was the moment you guys booked it.
You sealed the deal
Sealed the deal, but I don't know
with
how he
that
carried
jump.
me.
I mean, it must have just been that pure willpower that
Yeah,
he's
he
like.
talks about it. He says he was like, I had so much adrenaline. Like you were the lightest person ever at that point. So that's good.
Imagine
Adrenaline
if
carried
he
through.
dropped you in the
I
audition
know.
room.
We
Would
would
that
have had
have
to play
ended
it
up?
off or something. Yeah. It was
I
a
mean,
physical audition. I remember coming out of the audition room exhausted. Like we needed bottles of water because we were like, oh my God, just a bunch of running around.
I feel like that was the whole point, though. They wanted
Yeah.
to test you, but
Mhm.
it was fun because obviously when you got to filming and we see the Smee twins and the other characters in Wonderland and how that is connected to maybe those audition room
Yeah,
scenes, can you expand on how you shaped Squirmy Smee, including both his personality and those physical characteristics?
for sure. So it was kind of nice. As I said, the Smee twins were their whole thing is they're the first mate, just like Captain Hook. We had Smee, it's Hazel and the Smees. So they were kind of like blank canvases, and it was kind of amazing because we kind of got to shape it alongside each other with like the help of our amazing director Kimmy Gatewood. We found this dynamic where we really wanted the Smees to be the viewer's eyes into Wonderland. So we wanted everything to be like magical and wonderful, just as you're seeing it on camera, we're experiencing it in Wonderland. And it was honestly quite easy to do because of how amazing the sets were and amazing. Like it wasn't a lot of faking because everything was pretty practical. And we found this relationship, me and Dayton, where I think it's funny because I'm so much larger than him. I was kind of like the scaredy cat kind of. If you can see, there's a few takes in the movie where when I'm in the back and we're going through some sort of conflict or peril, I'm just crying in the background, and like Dayton or Malia are like trying to calm me down. So there's little Easter eggs throughout the film where you kind of see me be a big scaredy cat and Dayton actually being the strong cool one, confident one. So we kind of thought that was a funny juxtaposition with our physical differences and then our characters' differences. And yeah, it was really fun to play with that dynamic and kind of play with being the comic relief and kind of experiencing Wonderland for the first time, just like everyone else was.
Did you draw inspiration from anywhere else, like including your character's lineage? Like, did you rewatch Peter Pan or there were younger versions of your characters that also appeared in Descendants 3.
Oh yeah. I remember I mean a word like Descendants is so directly linked to your parents' identity. So I remember right before I started shooting, I watched like there was this 2 hour compilation of Smee moments on YouTube. I had rewatched the original Peter Pans and all the different iterations, but then I remember watching this compilation over and over again, and just some of the physicality was just so ridiculous in the best way. So I remember I was in my trailer like trying to like copy that because I talk about dance like physicality first. So that was something I was trying to find initially. And then me and Dayton had met up a few times with Kimmy, kind of discussing the relationship to Hazel and the relationship to everyone else. And we had realized like Hook and Smee's relationship is so it's funny because Hook is always like annoyed by Smee and he's always messing up, but there's this like innate trust and togetherness that they have. So we had made the choice to say like, yes, Hazel gets sick of us and we're kind of annoying, but she's our day one. So she's the one we're loyal to the most always. So you see it throughout the movie, like we're ride or die with her. Like she is everything to us. So yeah, I think the writing for our characters really drew from the original movies. Squeaky and Squirmy were already canon in the Descendants universe, so they definitely kept those characters true to what they were in the third one. Yeah, so I'm excited for everyone to just meet them a little more grown up and a little bit more substance behind them.
I think Dayton's Squeaky is supposed to be like the slightly older twin as
Yeah,
well. Is that
yeah,
correct?
yeah. He was born first.
How did yours and Dayton's personal relationship really shape the dynamics? We see, like, obviously you were close before, but I spoke with Dayton and he mentioned, like, working on this movie really solidified your relationship. You're spending every day together on set, and your characters are just so interconnected as well, being brothers.
Yeah, so I had known of Dayton. So when I moved away from Edmonton, I moved away from our studio. That was when he moved to Edmonton and joined our studio. And I remember everyone telling me like, "Ooh, this guy replaced you at the studio." So initially I was like, "Who is this guy replacing me? Like, what? I don't know. I don't buy it." And then he had moved to Vancouver, and I remember he asked me for advice in like the like dance industry and acting, and I was like, "Yeah, okay, here's some advice. Guy thinks he can replace me." And then he joined our team Northside, and we instantly became like this. Like it was so innate, the friendship, which was so nice. Um, and I think that's why in our audition it was so easy. Like we hadn't really been friends for that long, but it was just kind of organic, like and chemical, how easily we got. It kind of felt like a true brotherhood, which is ironic. But yeah, and literally ever since that audition, we've kind of been inseparable, which is awesome. It's so nice to have like feels like a real brother in the city. And yeah, we spent the entire whatever 4 months of filming together, which is definitely you can't do that with anyone. So it was really special, and we kind of have kept that relationship up ever since then.
I think it's just hilarious how there was like that little apprehension at the beginning, but that's
Oh
before
yeah.
you knew him. But you don't know people's intentions, like technically a bit of a competitor at the
Oh
start.
yeah. Well, he was so good. I was like, he is replacing me, and he's better.
Intimidation tactic.
Yeah, yeah. He's nice. I love the kid. He's
How
my,
did you
my
do
brother.
the twin cartwheel trick with your height difference?
I honestly don't know. We literally just did that on the spot because we both had done that with other people. I think it's such like a dance duet move. Like we had both done that growing up, and I was like, I think we can do it. So we just tried it for the first time, and it worked. And I was like, I don't understand the physics behind this, but let's not question it because it's working.
You're like somehow magically, it's like you
Yeah,
ended up the same height to
it
be
was
able
the
to do
magic
it.
of Wonderland, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. So you mentioned Hazel Hooks, Ride or Die. They're part of that VK crew. In your eyes, what are the power dynamics within that group, and how did the Smees become a part of it?
So Max is the leader of the Hat Tricks. He formed it, and we joined obviously as an extension of Hazel. So yes, we are ride or die with our crew, but over everything, we're loyal to Hazel. So you can see in the movie anytime there's an issue between Max and Hazel, we're always going to take Hazel's side. She's our queen. She's our ride or die. She's our captain, and we're her first mates. So that it was a fun dynamic to play because there's kind of this power dynamic between Hazel and Max throughout the movie, and it kind of shows through us being Hazel's ride or die, and then Max is kind of in this identity crisis, figure out where he lies. So it's the hat tricks is a interesting group dynamic to follow throughout the movie because you can kind of see these shifts as we become closer to the HKs and the VKs, and we kind of form this new mega gang from our initial small crew. So yeah, it's definitely fun dynamics to play.
So I think initially when I watched the movie, and then now that I'm talking to some of the cast and thinking about it more, I definitely thought Hazel was the leader, but I feel like it's because she's a bit more bold. Well, you
Mm-hmm.
mentioned like Max is going through this crisis that he
Mm-hmm.
has to deal with. One of my favorite lines was when Hazel says that she has to feed the Smees every 2 hours, which is just so funny because she is like their babysitter. I mean, how much fun, or like, how was it to kind of keep a straight face during some of these moments when it really feels like she's looking down on them?
Oh, it's so fun. And Kiara, our dynamic, like Kiara, Dayton, and me, is almost shot for shot what it is in the film. I mean, obviously Kiara is like the sweetest angel that's ever existed, but it's we have this kind of fun dynamic in real life, like the three of us. During rehearsals, we stayed as a trio, and it wasn't mandatory. We just did like through all of the dancing. And it kind of helped build this rapport between the three of us where Kiara says something and we're like, okay, literally, aye, aye, Captain. And it was kind of innate our responses. And it's so fun. And I have to give a huge shout out to Tamara Chestnut, our writer, and Kimmy Gatewood, because they would just throw wild lines at us during the scene. Okay, now say this. And I think that after Feed the Smees was one of those. So it was just kind of like an innate, immediate reaction. I'm like, oh yeah, we got to get fed. Like, please, can you get us some food? And there's just this running joke on set about how Kiara or Hazel's always talking about food. And our dynamic is always we need to find food. But it's because we're pirates. We're pirates. We're always looking for those essential needs, you know? Food and water and gold.
Or trying to be pirates, maybe in the
Yeah.
Smee's case. But
Yeah, we're
we're
trying
in,
our best.
we're introduced to your character during that grand opening number for Perfect Princess as your first appearance. Take me through the choreography and filming and wanting to make that strong first impression.
Oh, well, Perfect Princess is a beast of a number. You have to introduce 10 or I think 8 new characters in like a 3-minute song, and you have to completely understand what this new reality is. So everything is so meticulous and accounted for. So Amelia DeSalle and Amanda May, that our choreography team, they did such an amazing job of being so like specific with the blocking, with the choreography. So with maybe we all of us only had like one part of the song, one line to introduce our entire characters. So that had to come through the way we sing the song, the way we move, our blocking in the shot. So everything was this big choreographed dance, this beautiful ballet of character development, like all this exposition happening at the same time. And I think it reads so well. You kind of, at the end of the number, you can understand the entire dynamics of this new reality. So it was a huge shout out to Emilio and Amanda and Tessa and the whole team for kind of executing that behemoth of a number.
Exactly, like you mentioned, it's like a short time frame to really just introduce like who these new characters are and their purpose. And with the VKs, it's looking menacing, which was I'm sure the key kind of expression that you wanted to focus on.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's because we're all the VKs are a group, but we all are specific kind of VKs, right? Like Hazel's the intimidating, like cool one, and Felix is more like the suave, mysterious one. And then we have Max, he's the like brooding and he's a little bit more standoffish. And then we have Squeaky and Squirmy who are almost trying to be menacing, but it's not really working. So you're kind of playing this dynamic of, yeah, we're scary, but we're not actually. So that was fun to play because it's fun to play some trying as an actor. It's fun to play when you're trying to act in a movie, like you're because the Squeaky and Squirmy are acting like they're true VKs. So you're acting like you're acting. So it's kind of like a fun dynamic to play as a character.
Yeah, that's perfectly said because they're, interlocking hand movements. I don't know if that hit as
Yeah, we
well.
have like a hip, we're doing like a pot of dough with each other, trying to be intimidating. It's so perfect.
Exactly right on brand for the characters.
Yeah.
So Squirmy is part of the group that goes to Wonderland. Their aim is to stop Maddox Hatter, save the Queen of Hearts, and Wonderland. What do you think his thoughts were about the situation?
I remember writing down like the number one word when it comes to Squirmy is loyalty. I think he's like a fiercely loyal guy. He's super loyal to his brother and he's super loyal to Hazel. So they're my ride or die. So I would follow them wherever they go. So when Hazel says we're going to Wonderland, we're going to Wonderland. I feel like throughout this journey, I mean, the whole movie's about identity. We're put in situations where we kind of have to shape our own identity. Our Squeaky and Squirmy's identity has kind of been built around Hazel's, just like Smee's was built around Captain Hook's. And we're kind of put in these situations where when Felix and Robbie and I get like transition to that flower and we're kind of alone, is you kind of have this whole, okay, now I'm alone. I'm on a different journey. And same with when Hazel and Squeaky are on their own journey. It's you kind of have to live outside of what you thought your whole identity was. So it's really fun to once we come back for Go Live It, have this different dynamic with Hazel where yeah, we're still your ride or die, but we're also our own people as well. And everyone is kind of finding who they are throughout the movie. And I feel like, Squirmy obviously is really good friends with Max, and he feels for him this kind of toxic, difficult relationship with his dad. Because in the Descendants movie, we all have just difficult relationships with our parents. That's kind of the main theme throughout. So I think through this journey and through this kind of adventure we go on, the HKs and the VKs realize they have a lot more in common than they thought they did in the first place. So it's really nice to see at the end we kind of go from this kind of separate groups into this one just kind of united front of understanding, which is nice. It's full circle.
I think the key word, like you said, is really understanding. Like at the same time, there will always be those kind of differences, but as long as you have an understanding with each other, you can kind of start to build that trust. The Smees do offer comic relief,
Oh,
like you alluded to earlier. So how was it to play into this element and kind of mix scripted moments with improv and, having a lot of play and fun during your scenes?
oh, it was. I mean, slapstick is such a delicate art. People don't realize it's actually quite. People will always argue it's like one of the hardest artistic things to do because you kind of have to play this line of going way too big and not doing enough. And you're also putting your body on the line every 5 seconds. So I was so happy we had like a comedic genius like Kimmy, our director, to kind of guide us through it. And she created this environment on set. I told her this. I was like, I've never felt so safe to like just play on a set before. She would let us make these choices, try things out, pitch things to her, and she was so gung ho about us trying anything. And then Tamara Chesna, our writer, just kind of put us in these situations where we were free to improvise and have fun. Like it would say in the script, it would just give an example of like it says the really tall Squirmies tries to climb the really small Squeaky, and it's just stuff like that. We just was so fun to play, and it kind of those moments were like a jumping off point of like, okay, so we can really try anything, and it was so nice to have someone I felt so comfortable with like Dayton to do that off because there's a lot of things where you can't just go up to a stranger and slap them in the face, like it was happy that we were friends. So we had this kind of implicit trust with us and with our whole team that made it so much easier and so much fun.
So you're not apologizing like after every take. It was kind
No,
of like, okay,
exactly. Yeah.
we're good. I know we're good. The harness work, Dayton said, you're
Oh
falling down
yeah.
the rabbit hole, you're tangled, you're like screaming for your lives. How was that to film?
Oh my God, it was so much fun. We had seen previses of what they wanted us to look like falling down the rabbit hole. And one of them was the slap fight. And we were like, okay, we can definitely do that. We can definitely do that. And I remember we had like our wire training and okay, we can do this. And then the first time we were trying it together was when we were shooting. And I remember both of us going like, ooh, this is gonna be a lot harder than I thought. So when they called action, like obviously we go full out. And then once they yelled cut, we were both like dripping in sweat and like beat red faces because we were going so hard. And it was all working apparently. So they like let us roll for like 5 minutes. I swear we were swinging and just slap fighting and then screaming and then slap fighting. It was so much fun. Yeah, so I truly think I couldn't have done this part with anyone else because it was just so fun and so easy for us to just do stuff like that.
You filmed at Auradon Prep, Hatley Castle in Victoria, so iconic to this franchise, and also in Wonderland. So take me behind the scenes of how these sets were created. I know a lot of it was practical, and your thoughts on stepping into these worlds.
Yeah, shooting at Hatley Castle was insane. Like being a fan of the originals, it was seeing the castle with all the Auradon banners, with the statue out front, with all of us in our costume. It was like we didn't have to act like we were at Auradon. We were in Descendants world. It was so surreal. Like there's so many moments where I just had to take a step back and look where we were and look what we were doing. I was like, this is insane. It was so beautiful. And I know it was so hard to get Hatley because it's booked up for weddings throughout the summer. And you also have to worry about weather. And I remember like the week before it rained and the week after it rained. And somehow we got so lucky where our week it was beautiful and sunny the whole time. So thank God for that. And we were filming in the like early spring. So there wasn't any leaves or anything. So the whole set deck team and art department like had to create leaves and all these like foliage around. So it was so much work went into it, but it looks so good in the movie. Like you cannot tell there's like dead trees in the back of here. Like they did such a good job to make Auradon look beautiful. And then going into Wonderland, it was insane. Like the time, and I remember the first time we were walking around the lot and we went into the like art department area, set deck, where they were making all of the pieces for Wonderland. And I think all of us just walked in and like our jaws dropped for like 5 seconds. We're like, this is insane. Like the mushrooms were insane and everything you see us walking through, it's real. Like everything is real. When they have that little mouse village in Heartless, like that was all real. Like everything was so wonderful, just like for lack of a better term, like it was insane. So we really didn't have to try very hard to envision we were in Wonderland because we were at Wonderland, which was amazing.
Everything was so vibrant, and I think it
Yeah.
really came through on screen. So I'm glad that, you were put in this environment that really made it easy for you to get into character.
Mhm.
Did you hear about them was a fun, a bit more of an intimate number between these characters. What memories do you have from rehearsing and filming that one?
Oh, did you hear about them was definitely I think everyone will say the most challenging number of the whole movie for sure. Because I don't know why, but somehow with scheduling constraints, we could only had one day to film it. We had one day. We were on a new soundstage that day, and I remember there was so much. Like we have to do atmospheric fog to get the effects, and I remember at the end of the day, we all like blew our nose, and there was like this black tar that had formed in our noses. We're like, what is that? So it was definitely like not the best. Like you're not most ideal conditions. Like we had one day, and it's a beast of a number. And I have to shout out Kiara because we were doing so much on the VK side. Like me and Kiara do like 3 lifts in that dance. And usually we call cut, take a break, like get some water, do a fan, and then go for another one. Since we had such little time, they would call cut and say, okay, go again. And we would just go one right after the other. Like it was boom, boom, boom. It was just go, go, go shooting. It was insane, but it was kind of fun because when you're shooting that fast, you don't really have time to nitpick anything. You don't have time to be all critical of myself, watch playback. Oh, my arm's a little weird, We were just going. So we didn't have time to do any of that. And it kind of felt that's my favorite way to shoot because it's so fast and so fun. And I feel like it's just organic in the best way. So that number was so much fun. And I remember there's so many little Easter eggs in that dance if you watch it over and over again and you watch what we're all doing individually. Like it was a big puzzle all put together. And Emilio and Amanda and the whole team did such a good job of putting these little cameos, these little moments that have to do with the lyrics and the characters in the back. So yeah, I'm really proud of that one, and I'm proud of all of us for getting through that that day.
You're all troopers. I'm happy that the black tar didn't seem to have any
Yeah, there was
future negative effects.
no long-term effects, hopefully. I just remember being
Something
so
in the
shocked.
air.
We were all like, what is this?
And
Yeah.
you never got an answer either.
No, it was the curse of the Lemuria tree, I guess.
Very fair. There's a mostly happy ending at movie's end. How do you think Squirmy felt about their mission being completed successfully? And I know you kind of touched on it briefly earlier, but working with the HKs and building a bit more of an understanding with them.
Yeah, I mean, we all our characters learn so much throughout this process, this journey, and it really brings together these two worlds. I think Did You Hear About is a good number to see those relationships start to form because it's kind of HKs talking about not their struggles, but what they go through, and then the same with the VKs, and you kind of see, oh, we're not that different. We're all, have parents that are so iconic, and the trials and tribulations of having parents who are so different kind of lead us together, and we kind of find this unity with our common goal. So it's really nice. I think Go Live It is such a beautiful number, and it kind of ties the movie, like the theme of the movie, together so nicely. And kind of talking about how we're all individuals, and there's a truth in all of us, and like you should just accept it and let it go free. And it kind of brings us together. There's this kind of excitement I feel at the end of the movie where it's like, what's our next adventure? Like we can do anything. Like we always say we are like the Avengers, because there's one shot before we do Mad where it's like a camera circling and we're all looking around, and we're like that is literally Avengers 1, where like Thor's grabbing his hammer and like Hawkeye's getting it. Like that's how I was feeling in that moment. So I truly felt like we were the Avengers at the end of that movie.
Very good comparison there. I'm not sure if everyone would agree, but it's a
Yeah,
very
like
good, like,
different kind of
Disney.
Avengers,
Yeah.
Disney Avengers.
With although Disney owns Marvel now,
Yeah, maybe there's a crossover coming.
you never know. With the Go Live It, it was another really big number. Coming from a dance background, what can you say about working on this one, the choreography team on Wicked Wonderland and collaborating on these large scale routines that have a lot of props, including like the teacups and the trays and the tables?
Yeah, I think when I first got into dancing on film, I didn't realize how everything needs to be accounted for. You think, oh, it's just like a choreographer just has to make the dance, but you have to choreograph every movement. So like when we do that whole sequence with the plates or with us moving around the like little cupcake trays, like there's everything is so like precise. And there's so many dancers and so many amazing dancers. They wanted to highlight every moment of every group. So if you watch like in the back of each shot, like everything is choreographed perfectly. And it's so hard to make a number that ties everything together with like a nice bow. And they did that in such a nice way. If you watch the choreography for Go Live It, I have no doubt saying that is the hardest choreography I've ever done for like any project filmed. It's so good, and I love how rooted in like hip hop foundation Emilio and Amanda made the choreography, because like that's my love, and the choreography is just so amazing. So I just really hope people are able to see it, and I want people to like learn it and try it because it's such a fun dance and it's so fun to do. I really I want to film it on TikTok and like show people like this is so good, you guys. You gotta try this choreography.
Can I just say that, well, you all killed it, but the girls in particular,
Oh
like they
my
had
God.
that moment at the like with the beginning of the song, and they were so good. And I love that it has like almost like an electronic pop
Yeah.
vibe to it.
Yeah, it's got a pop EDM kind of vibe to it. It makes you want to dance, like the dance break when we're all doing the choreography and the girls on the table and they're dancing. Like it's just so well put together. and it's in the beautiful like garden, and there's Rita and Brandy at the back, like doing their own thing. Like everyone has their little moment in it, and it's kind of, yeah, it ties everything together so nicely.
When the guys are there doing like that little kind of step sequence
Yeah.
together, like how cute and fun was that to
Um,
film and all come together
that
there?
was so fun. I remember the rehearsal for that. They kind of came with the idea of like, yeah, you guys are just gonna put your arms around each other. And I've never seen all the boys so happy in dance rehearsal, because dance rehearsal can be like a stressful struggle time. But that was the most fun we've ever had in rehearsal, because we were like, oh, this choreo is easy, and we all get to dance with each other with our arms around each other. It was so good. Like, I don't think anyone needed to act that day. We were all having so much fun, and we all just felt like I'm gonna say it again, a brotherhood. That was so fun to do. That's definitely my favorite part of the dance.
What are your hopes for Squirmy and his future in the franchise aside from a Marvel's Avengers crossover? What would you like to see in a sequel and with these characters?
Yeah, I just am really excited. I hope we get to see him come up with his shell more. I hope we get to see his identity separate from what he's used to being, kind of this more subordinate, obedient kind of guy. We've kind of had this story arc, kind of off screen, or like we kind of see the final product. We don't really see everything that's behind it. So I really hope we can kind of understand that journey a little bit more, and kind of see me and Dayton's dynamic, or sorry, Squeaky and Squirmy's dynamic, without like being so subordinate. I'm really excited to see how fans react to these, like the new Smee twins, because we're in a new reality. Like this is a new type of world we're living in. So I'm excited to keep playing that dynamic with Squeaky and Squirmy, and kind of see people to understand the differences. And yeah, I really want the world to feel the fun in the Smees, because we had so much fun creating it. So I hope people have as much fun watching it as we did playing it.
Let's talk costumes and hair and makeup. Your look paid homage to Mr. Smees in Peter Pan. Tell me about creating his look, those first fittings, and you wearing his outfit and the wig with confidence.
Oh, the wig. The wig was such a journey. Shout out to Anne and Ashley, our heads of department for hair. They were the nicest people to us, because we had so many iterations of our hairstyle. Because I know people wanted it to like pay homage to the original Speed Twins, who had this long bleach blonde wigs, and we tried it on the first time, and we were shocked. Because originally they were going to dye our hair blonde, and they're like, no, we're going to do a wig. And then just our wig fitting was one of the craziest things I've ever been a part of. There was like maybe 7 different wigs we tried on, 7 different lengths. One of them, I swear, was like super voluminous, somewhere down to here. And yeah, there were so many iterations, different colors. And I think they wanted to have the aesthetic of, we've been on a boat, we're sun bleached, we like our hair's overgrown, like we're pirates. So we didn't want it to be too like cropped and short, and we're wearing our beanies obviously. So we really wanted it to be kind of unpolished, because if you look at the original Sneeze, I think he's got that kind of crown hairline that's kind of unfinished. So we wanted to be like our dad and not be too put together. And yeah, I think what we landed on worked. It was definitely it was the first time me and Dayton had like danced in a wig and worn a wig for that long. And there were so many moments throughout the film, and like I think they're in the blooper reel, where I knocked Dayton's wig off. I think because he has such short hair that it was really hard to pin the wig to his hair. So whenever we're doing our goofball behavior in the back, where it's always very physical, and I think I knocked his wig off like 2 or 3 times during shooting. But I think the look works out great. It pays homage to the original Smees, to our dad, but kind of creates our own identity as well beyond that.
The wig thing is so funny. It's like more pins, please.
Yeah, I think I counted one day that I had 52 pins in my hair, because every time it shakes, they just add more. They don't take out, they just add more. So at the end of the day, it was like, okay, how many do I got today? The wigs were definitely a challenge, but I'm happy how it turned out.
Did you get a scalp massage at the end of filming?
Yes. Oh my God. Shout out the entire hair team, because they felt for us. They were like, okay, I'm so sorry, but we're gonna have to put a few more pins in. So at the end of the day, they would take our wigs out and then give us a nice little massage. All in, our hair guy would always give us a hair massage, which was so needed, but so greatly appreciated.
What a kind crew taking
Oh my
care of
God.
you.
The best crew I've ever worked with, for sure.
Can you share a favorite memory or two from filming and working with this cast?
Oh my God. Our cast became so close so fast. I've never had a cast where within a week it felt like we were longtime friends. Like we ate lunch together every day. There was never a day where it's like, oh, I want to do my own thing. Like we were like, whose trailer is it today? Like we always just stayed together. And it's kind of crazy. We always talk about this. Like, I can't believe I've only known them for like a year. Like we feel like such a close group, such a close knit circle. So I'm just so lucky that like that's extremely rare for a cast where everyone is just so excited and new and talented that we all just got along so great. Favorite memory, I'm sure this has been said before, but I just can't not say it. This was at the Lemuria tree, and me and Dayton were obviously clowning around in the back, being Smees. And I remember one of the the prompts we were thinking was like, we were hungry, we need to eat. So we were going around looking at all the different cupcakes, and Dayton grabs the teapot and he goes to like fake drink it, but he didn't realize that it was full of water and fake tea. So he goes like this and dumps the entire teapot on himself. And I remember it was like I think it was like the intense scene between Red and Max happening in the back. So we were trying not to laugh because it's like serious acting going on over here, but meanwhile Dayton is covered in tea, and I'm just trying to hide my face not to die laughing because it was so loud and it made such a loud splash. And it was during one of the days where we were like, okay, like we gotta go. So we couldn't ruin the take. So Dayton just had to stay there soaking wet, covered in fake tea. Oh, it was so funny. I think that was probably the hardest I've ever laughed. And yeah, on the chessboard, another great moment was, like I said, I was always crying in the background, trying to like add this scaredy cat idea to Squirmy. And it's when Chloe's giving her speech about this is a game of chess. So I'm looking at Malia and I'm just like sobbing. And she keeps trying not to make eye contact with me because she's like, you're gonna make me break because you're just so sad. So that was such a fun day because my goal was like, I'm gonna make her break. I'm just gonna cry so much until she laughs. So that was another fun day. And probably one of the like most pure highlights was the last day filming Go Live It. We did this big soul train and everyone went through and like danced, like everyone, the whole cast went. And it was so Disney in the best way. Like everyone got their moment. Everyone had so much fun. That was when me and Dayton did the cartwheels down on each other. It was so good. You can see it in the post credits. And yeah, it was just a beautiful moment because it reminded me of how talented every single person was, all the dancers, all the cast, all the crew, and how lucky I was to be a part of this beautiful film.
And that's such a nice way to wrap as well, to kind
Yeah.
of, celebrate with everyone. Dayton did mention about the teapot filled
Oh
with
yeah.
water. He said that, oh, was it Liamani should have told him, or maybe he didn't notice, but
Yeah,
he
he blamed it on
definitely,
Liamani. I was like, no, that was all you.
I
That
mean,
was
I
all
think he
you.
had good awareness. He said he turned away from the camera to make sure he wasn't in view, but I
Yeah.
imagine for both of you, it was just like
It was
so hard to control that laughter.
yeah, I remember I had given the goal to me and Dayton. I was like, okay, our whole goal for this movie, this was right at the beginning. I was like, we never want them to ask to give us more. I want us to give so much that they have to rein us in. And they never asked to rein us in until that moment. They were like, okay, Dayton, Ryan, pull back a bit. But that was our goal. So I was like, we achieved it. We achieved it. Yeah. It was just so much fun. Like I think another highlight was when we were jumping into the mushroom or the fluffy marshmallow patch or whatever. We had to do that over and over and over again because it was also like kind of cold that day and it just rained. So the squishy mushrooms are actually soaking wet. And they look so squishy, but we just kept belly flopping in. And that was one time when think I was belly flopping on Dayton and I hit his hat with my hand and his wig just flies off. And one of the BTS team was there that day, and they filmed it all in slow motion. So there's this video out there of me falling and then hitting Dayton's hat, and it like slowly comes off, and it's like we're both looking at her like, no, as his wig just like flies out. Oh my God, so much fun.
How excited and proud are you to now be a part of the Descendants family? Like, what has this whole journey meant to you personally?
It's an insane legacy to be a part of. I know how near and dear this like franchise is to so many people's hearts, including my own. And I think Disney just has this way of creating these stories, creating these movies that will last in your mind forever. Like I still will watch High School Musical like once a year, and it's just yeah, you grow up, but that inner kid never really leaves you. So I'm just so happy that we get to be that movie for some kids out there. Like this will be the movie that it'll be their High School Musical too. You know, it's like they'll rewatch it, they'll learn the songs, they'll dress up as these characters for Halloween. So to be a part of that is so insane. I remember I went to the Worlds Collide tour last year in New York and met a bunch of fans, and it was so cool to see. There was so many young little fans, but there was also so many fans like in their 20s, in their 30s, and they're talking so much about how Descendants is like still their favorite movie. So it's really cool to see how that can last so long and how this movie will be so near and dear to people's hearts for so long. So I'm really happy that I get to be a part of this amazing franchise and this amazing legacy.
It really just speaks to the longevity of it and
Mhm.
the fact that you're already meeting fans. The movie is far from being out at
Yeah.
that point, so that must have been so cool. And just I forgot to mention earlier, but speaking about the cast relationship, when Brotherhood performed in Vancouver, was it Malia and Kiara came to see you
Yeah.
guys perform?
Yeah, it was so sweet. They came to support us. Oh, it was so nice to have them there in the audience, and you know they hung out with my parents before too, and it was just I felt so supported. Like it's so nice to have a bunch of the cast here in Vancouver with us. Like Savian's here, Dayton's here, Malia's here. Kiara loves to come back because she's like, I miss you guys. Like she's such a big part of the family. So I'm so excited to see them all next week in LA at the premiere where we can all just celebrate all the work we did together. And yeah, we're always going to be supportive of each other anytime anything happens. I know a few of them are coming to the LA IDL, including our producer, Suzanne. She's going to be there. She's a big Brotherhood fan. So I'm really excited and nervous to have them all there for LA. But yeah, it's going to be a blast.
What upcoming projects can you share?
I there's a movie coming out I was a part of called Teenage Sex and Death at Camp Miasma, which was such a fun movie to see. This movie is so good. It comes out, I believe, August 18th. It's like my first horror movie I've ever done. And I don't think I can share too much plot wise, but the script is insane. And Jane Schumbaum, the director, they're such a talent. And I just am really excited to see the reaction from fans and critics for that movie. And I also did, I got to work on Hollywood Arts, which is a upcoming Victorious spinoff. And I had so much fun on that set. I love my character and I love that cast. They're just some of the most just talented people I've ever met in my entire life. They're some of the best singers I've ever met, and they're such a fun energy. So I had so much fun on that set, and it was my first time doing sitcom style acting, like multicam. And yeah, I loved it. I'm so excited for that to come out as well. So yeah, those are two things coming up. I think Hollywood Arts comes out October, yeah, and Camp Miasma comes out August 18th. So I'm really excited for those.
The trailer for Camp Miasma looked so good, like the way, like the music and the way it was shot and like visually, it just looks so striking.
It's an insane script. Yeah, I'm really excited to see it. And you know, Gillian Anderson is the best. Like I'm such a huge fan of her. So to be in a movie with her was insane. I saw our headshots together on like the wall, and I was like, oh my god, it's Jean.
So you never got to meet her?
We were never shooting on the same day, but I got to walk by her trailer and I got to ask about her. But yeah, I'm just so excited to watch the movie. And it was so much fun to film. And that crew was amazing too. Like we shot on Vancouver Island in like such a beautiful place called Shawnigan Lake. Beautiful, but also haunting because at night it was so scary. I remember I had put in the address to Crew Park that day, and I was driving, and the address took me to a graveyard. And it was like 2 a.m., pitch black. I in the middle of a forest in a graveyard. I'm shooting a horror movie. So I was freaking out. I was so scared. I was like, I'm in a horror movie right now. But it's because I had put the address in wrong. But it took me to a graveyard. I was so scared. But yeah, that movie's gonna be amazing.
Did you call production and you were like,
Yeah.
someone's
I
gotta
called
help
the
me
I
out
called the
here?
AD. I was like, you guys playing a prank on me? Like, why am I in a graveyard? It was crazy.
And then when they told you the correct address, you're like, okay,
I
that
was so
was,
embarrassed. I was like, oh, sorry. Be there soon.
and it never happened again.
No, 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 never again.
It's been so great chatting with you. I have one more
Yeah.
question, our signature question. If you could be any ice cream flavor, which would you be and why?
I feel like I'd be like an orange sorbet. Just because I feel like every time, you know, that game where it's like, what would I be if I was a color? Everyone always says orange. I've never heard a different color. And so I have to be something orange, and an orange sorbet is so fire. So I think I'd be an orange sorbet because that's the energy I radiate, or I want to radiate. Is orange sorbet. How about you, Clay? What flavor are you?
I always, sometimes I get asked this and then I have to think really hard, but I
Yeah.
think I've always settled on like matcha green tea just
Oh
because
yeah.
of like the Asian influence. It's one of my favorite flavors. It can be like sweet, but also like bitter, depending
You
on like how
got layers.
strong the matcha is. So I've had time to think about it, to be fair.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I
To be
like
fair.
the orange sorbet. I feel like it's very appropriate for summer.
Yeah,
So hopefully bringing
exactly.
the
And I
good
love
weather
summer.
to Vancouver this
Yeah.
year. But Ryan, it's been so nice to chat with you about your work in Descendants, Wicked Wonderland. You're fantastic, so funny as Squirmy. So I'm excited for everyone to see your performance. Thank you so much.
Oh my God. Thank you so much, Chloe. This has been awesome. It's so nice to reflect on what a crazy experience. And yeah, thank you for the great questions. I had a blast.
Hopefully, more fun times to come in this world, and we'll
Yeah.
get to catch up in the future. But until then, for all those watching, make sure to catch Ryan as Squirmy Smee in Descendants Wicked Wonderland out July 16th on Disney Channel and July 17th on Disney Plus. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.
Bye, guys.